And we are live. What is up, players? Welcome to episode 101 of Player Life. It is Friday, the 16th here in Tokyo, Japan. Hope you are good. Because I am good. I am good. Jews have been paid today. Had a good workout, calisthenics workout, as I have been doing for the past couple of months. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, with some cardio in between. It's good stuff. Taking shape, getting some gains. It's good stuff. Let's see. Yeah. So let me just share what I did today in the park. Share screen. Yes, so here is my story. Today's pre-workout was Snickers bar and Red Bull. Yeah, not actually not to be do this at your own risk, but not the healthiest. I'm obviously messing, but I actually did. This was actually my pre-workout. I just needed some quick energy. Um, as an ectomorph, as someone who can just eat anything, I can get away with it. But obviously, not a very healthy pre-workout. But that was, what can you do? I will start my workouts off with some skipping, just to get the blood flowing. It's it just gets you pretty warmed up pretty quickly. Um, Definitely good stuff. Skipping is underrated. If you're not skipping, you got to get on it. Yeah, so I basically do 5 sets of 10 pull-ups, with I think this is the third set, so I'm getting a bit fatigued, but yeah, getting better every week. Getting better. Getting Form is getting better. Legs shouldn't be coming up like that. That's bad form. But this is doing some abs. But yeah, it's good stuff. But sets of 15 triangle push-ups. So I do push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, basically 5 sets of each. So 15 push-ups, but like this, or different. Each one I would do different. Variety is key. I've noticed. You got to shake it up a bit. Dips as well. About 10 dips. I don't know. I'm a big fan of outdoor workouts. And it's good to film it because you get to see your progress. You get to see that how you should try and film yourself a bit, whatever. If you think it's narcissistic, who gives a fuck? I mean, you get to see. I've only been doing this a few months, and I'm already noticing myself getting more defined, a lot more defined. Yeah. So what else is there? Oh yeah, this was just with my boy Yair. After the workout, just chilling at the station, drinking a coffee, and we noticed this. This is really Japanese style, college girl style. She was definitely a sugar baby because she had the Gucci bag, and she was dressed like way too sexy. But yeah, I mean, if you come to Japan, you see a lot of girls. Like if you like legs, you got like you. This is the thing: Japanese girls do not show cleavage. They do not show cleavage at all. It's like taboo. But they will wear the tiniest, like most ridiculously short skirts. Like it's absurd. Like it just barely covers their ass. Yeah, obviously Yeah, she had the bag. She was waiting, and then we saw her come, and yeah, her sugar daddy came along, and they're always like, you know, they're always like, some middle aged kind of tubby, kind of fat man. They're just either going directly to have sex, or she's gonna milk him to take her to some restaurant or something. But it's so common in Japan. Sugar babies, sugar daddy setups in Japan are like super common. Um, the thing about Japan is, like, Japanese girls, like, they know their beauty is worth something. They're very aware of it. They're very, very, all most girls are, but particularly in Japan, Japanese girls will be like, they take full advantage of their beauty. It's not like, if a Japanese girl is really hot, it's like, you know, it's most likely she's gonna try and monetize it to the best of her advantage. So, I mean, you know, we criticize, like, I criticize Western society, Western women, but all around the world, women are basically the same, like, at a base level, Um, Rishi in the house, what is good? What is up? Gabriel E in the house, what is up? Rishi says, is that your IG? Yes, it is my IG. Yes, Mac the Day Gamer. Follow me if you want to see what I get up to. That is my IG. I have a few, but follow that one. Spark55 in the house, what is good? Spark says, can you do a planche push-up? I'm not sure what a planche push-up is. I'm not sure what that is. I have to check it out. Let me look it up. PLANCHE. I just see it now. A planche push-up. I do not think I can do a planche push-up. Not there yet. I just might as well show what it is. Yeah, planche. I cannot do a planche push-up yet. Not yet. I don't know if I might have the power to do it, but and I haven't trained. To do them yet. Not yet. But yeah. Problematic in house. What is good? What is up? Know your worth. What is good? Love it. I'm greeted by the image of some fine legs. Good morning to you. Know your worth. Yeah. Japan. If you like legs, it's an epic place to be. As the weather gets warmer in Japan, girls will start to wear more ridiculously short skirts and short shorts and whatnot. It's very noticeable. Girls really like, the hotter it gets, they wear like sexier and sexier outfits. It's a good time. Patricio in the house, what is good? What is up? What is good? Yes, so that is it. That is all caught up. Let me see. Yeah, so today I wanted to talk about validational versus transactional bedroom fun. Basically, transactional and validational sex. I think it's kind of, because it's kind of related to, obviously, your physique. The more attractive you are as a man, the more validational sex you're gonna get. It's very red pilling if you're ever out with a friend who is objectively better looking than you, or in better shape. Not only better looking, but even like better shape than you, like physically, like noticeably. Yeah, like if you're out with a friend and you're in a bar or a club or wherever, wherever it may be, that you're interacting with girls in a party situation, and you're with a friend who is like noticeably better looking than you, or like, is, just more ripped than you, or has bigger muscles than you. It's very red pilling when you see them getting like a lot more attention from girls, or even if you're in a set with them, and you say you're in a set with your friend who's better looking, or more ripped, or has bigger muscles or whatever, and you go up and you're both you're both like approaching two girls doing a set, and the girls are both like looking at the other guy, not paying you much attention. We've all been there. Like, if like everyone must have been there, unless you're that guy that's like better looking than all your friends. Like, I've been there. I've been the guy that's been on the sideline, where I've been not on the sideline, but I've been with a guy that's objectively maybe better looking than me, or more ripped, bigger muscles, whatnot. And you approach, and you wing the set, or you're trying to get some attention, and both of the girls are like, asking questions to your friend or whatnot. It's very red pilling. And it's you can go and get butthurt about it and get jealous, and that's, but you should not. You should just, instead of getting butthurt, use that jealousy to motivate yourself to like become physically better, physically more, just more, reach your potential, basically. um Everyone has different kinds of potential. Every guy has a different kind of maximum, but most people never reach their full potential, and that's a really sad thing. Unrealized potential. It's like, especially in terms of fitness and physicality, because there's no doubt about it. Like, the fitter you are, the more muscles you have, like, you know, uh, whatever body type you want. If you want, like, you should be aiming to have, like, be at your fittest at all times. You should never let your guard down. um Build up your biceps, get try and like lose as much fat as possible. um Strong shoulders, strong neck. I mean, it's just, girls are really attracted to that. Like, when obviously we saw the video. Let's just see, let's just share that again. I'll share that again. um Share screen. All right, so all right. So this is like a day in the life of Mac the Day Gamer with my boy Yair. So we're just chilling after our workout. Um, at the station, drinking a coffee outside, just chilling before we go our separate ways. And this is uh, this is the type of girl that you will see in Tokyo, like, with legs like this, like wearing barely there skirt, like high heel shoes. You see girls like this all over Tokyo, especially as the summer, like they'll wear like ridiculously short skirts. But when guys like us see this, um, that's like the if you want to compare it, when girls see a guy with big biceps, like, and strong shoulders, like, and they're popping out of a t-shirt, it's the equivalent. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, Um, like that'll catch their eye. They literally get turned on by it. So just think about it like that. Um, you know, uh, just yeah, especially if you're a leg man. But yeah, yeah, but it's just a day in the life. We just chill around, and we'll there's no hesitation. If we see a hot girl, we'll just go. Um, we didn't approach that girl because we knew it was very obvious that she was waiting for her sugar daddy. Like, you see it, as I was saying at the start of the episode, in Tokyo. You see it all the time. You'll see like younger, like college students, like that girl. She was probably like 19, 20, who knows. Um, but you'll see them waiting at like a station, and then a guy will show up, a guy will show up, and unfortunately, I wish I got the footage of it. It would have been good if I got the footage of the guy showing up, but it's always like a kind of a mid-30s kind of guy, and he might be a little bit fat, or like he might be a small guy or whatever, but it's clearly transactional. That's like, it's very rare when you see like super hotties like that. Honestly, that girl, it's hard to tell from the footage, but she was like exceptionally hot. She had her hair dyed red, and she was like very slender, like barely there skirt. It was ridiculous. Like high heel shoes, like stockings, like looking, she knew what she's up to. But when you see girls like that at a station, they're waiting for like their sugar daddy, because they have to look good if they want to get paid. You know what I mean? It's very rare you'll see a girl like that waiting in a station, and some in Japan anyway, just because Japan's like, and some guy will come and like some handsome guy her own age is gonna come and meet her. It's like it's always very predictable. Um, and in Japan, you'll notice like you'll always notice that they're a sugar baby when they have the Gucci bag, Louis Vuitton bag, or whatever it may be. It's all very transactional. Japanese girls, there's one thing about them: they love money. They love money. Like if you have money in Japan, like Japanese girls will they'll be coming your way, um, because they definitely, as I was saying earlier, like we give out about Western girls, about going on OnlyFans, but basically women all around the world, like all around the world, it's the one thing that they have in common. They're gonna try and. It's currently cloudy and 16 degrees. Temperatures are heading to Siri going off on me, but yeah, they're gonna try and monopolize. But they're pretty honest about it. That's the difference. Like Western girls will pretend they're boss bitches and all this shit. Japanese girls will be more like, they'll just be more, open about the whole thing. Time traveler in the house. Good morning to you. The east-west connection. What is good? How's your crypto gains, brother? Crypto, not too bad, not too bad at all. Ethereum's going up. Ethereum's looking good. I think it dipped down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, crypto gains all around. I don't know what the hell is going on with Dogecoin. It was like 26 cents or something. Total shitcoin, but gone through the roof. Yeah, it's I don't know, it's good times. Hopefully things keep going to the moon. Going to the moon. Yes. So obviously, Rollo Tomasi was the man that came up with. He wrote about transactional versus validational sex. So, might just have a look at what he wrote about it. Yeah. So, transactional versus validational sex. You cannot negotiate genuine desire. It's very true. And like I was giving the example of, when we've all been there, when you're in a bar, you're with a friend that's maybe objectively in better shape than you or better looking than you, and they get more attention from women, and it's very, it's very red pilling, especially. But as we all know, men are made and women just are. So that's a good thing. Like, men can significantly improve themselves, like significantly, like really. In my opinion, there's only so much, like, a woman can do to like increase her value, her sexual market value. There's really only so much she can do. Like, it's harsh to say, but some women are so, like, their frame, their bone structure, it's just it's not correct. It's not there. They don't have they might have just a very wide trunk on their body, and it's like they can go to the gym and all that, but it's not going to change their bone structure. Um, so it's like I've said this before. Like some of the hottest women I've been with, like they've never been to a gym. Like they've never done exercise. They don't need to. It's like it's just they're just hot. I mean they don't get extremely. I guess they maybe they don't let themselves get really fat, or they wear nice clothes and they put on some makeup, but that's about it. You know, it's like men can significantly make themselves much more attractive just by doing like exercise. Um, uh, so it says, this is one of my best known quotes because it resonates with so many men. Yep. There was a time in the early 2000s when I was doing peer counseling for men, most of whom were at least a decade my senior. As part of my undergraduate study, and one consistent theme I got from almost all of them was how their marriages or LTRs had been so much more sexually satisfying when they were dating their wives or before they'd committed to some kind of exclusivity. That's always the crux of it for guys. They mistakenly believed that the hot monkey sex they were having with their women prior to doing the right thing and getting married or committed was something that would be characteristic of their quality woman into a long term relationship with them. So yeah, it really depends on what you're after. The idea of a quality woman is also interesting. I mean, like there's a lot of talk in this sphere about about like have to giving out about women that have tattoos and like sure those kind of things are like red flags if you're looking for a relationship. But I mean, if you're looking just to have fun, like really, I mean, if you're just looking to smash and dash, I mean, really, who gives a shit about the red flags? In terms of dating, sure. I mean, if you're looking for a wife or whatever, but really, why would you be looking for a wife? Um, or if you're just looking to hook up, like pump and dump, smash and dash, you're not looking to even. Maybe you're not necessarily even looking to have like have them as plates. You're just looking to get a notch count. Like really, who cares? I mean, if they're on OnlyFans or they're doing this, that, and the other, like really, who cares? When it comes to just like having fun, one night stands kind of thing. As long as you wrap up. Some chicks, definitely. Sometimes you just know, like I'm like you just know you have to wrap up. Like there's no doubt about it. It's just you get that vibe that they've been around. I've been around too, but it's like you gotta take care if you're gonna live that lifestyle. You realistically you have to kind of have to wear Johnny. It's sometimes they're so hot that you don't always like maybe the occasional, but you know sometimes it only takes the once, but to mess up your life. But it's you gotta anyway. It says, why was this the case for guys? I can remember coming up with this quote as part of the advice I was giving while working for one of these men. He, like many of the other guys, had gotten to the point that he would do almost anything to get back to the real desire that convinced him to commit to his wife in the first place. And like many of these guys, he'd convinced his wife to go to marriage counseling in order to find out what exactly it was that he needed to do to get her to come around to wanting to bang him. Yeah, it's so true. You cannot negotiate desire. It's just not negotiate. It's not negotiable. It's not like it's just not. Nothing was working for him. Even after his sessions, he was still either sexless or his wife only begrudgingly would have lackluster starfish sex with him. We called that a grudge fuck back then. Man, this is so based. roll with my. He's really based, man. Like, but yeah, it's like you just cannot negotiate desire. You're either into someone or you're not. I mean, it's the same for men. I mean, it's the same for men regarding women. Like if you're not into a woman, she can't like talk you into liking her. You know, it's just not like she's not gonna be like, oh, be she's not gonna convince you to be attracted to her. Like it's just it's just not really negotiable. It's like, but particularly with men, it's just you cannot negotiate those kind of things. It's just it either is or it isn't. And it's like as soon as women realize that they have you, that you also lose something then. Like there's also like it's just because they don't have that competition anxiety. It's like you're in the bag. It's like uh it's kind of over really. They want that chase. They want to have that feeling of like panic where it's like, oh, he could leave, or it's like, what's he doing now? Oh, he didn't answer my text. Like, is he off with some other woman now? They want that. That's what keeps them attracted. You know what I mean? If you don't reply to a woman for like a girl message you and you don't reply to her all day, you, or like until the next day, and like that's a sign of high value. Like that's like, oh, like, she'll be like thinking that you're off with other girls or you're not interested, and that'll make them like you more. Um, and honestly, I have to admit myself, like even whenever I know that I have a girl in the bag, like that she's really into me, I kind of lose a little bit of attraction for her too. I gotta admit, like honestly, I do. I don't know if other guys find that, but I definitely do. I find them just that little. As soon as I know that they're in the bag and I can, they're not really they're gonna come around anytime. It's kind of, I just find the chase is over. It's a little bit. It's not. Honestly, I'm more attracted to like kind of like bitchy girls, just because I don't know. I just find the sex is hotter. I find that it's just like it's more lustful or something. Girls that are really bitchy and like kind of not nice. I kind of lose attraction for girls who's too sweet and nice. Honestly, I like a little bit of coldness. It's pretty hot in my opinion. Just because the sex is way more passionate um, when they're a little bit stuck up. Um, yeah. So as a student of behavioral psychology, my interest was still is in what motivates or incentivizes behavior in people, sometimes animals. What was it that inspires genuine desire as opposed to behavior that still has a purpose, but was more motivated by future outcome? You can make a case that genuine desire is also motivated by a perceived outcome. But in this instance, I'm making a distinction between a natural, unsolicited desire as opposed to an incentive based on a preconceived outcome. If it all goes according to plan. Yeah, yeah. So um, it's just, I don't know, it's just attraction. We all have our different fetishes. I mean, different fetishes, different likes, it's it's often the case. I've talked about this a lot. Like if you get a bunch of guys together, we're all gonna have different, and we're told to rate a bunch of girls. A lot of the time guys are gonna rate girls differently. There's gonna be differences in opinion, different likes. Um and it's just the way it is. Some guys like girls with bigger titties. Some guys like girls with like bigger asses. Some guys like legs. It's just a whole variety, and who knows why guys like have prior differences in their preferences. Um, but there's one thing that's for sure, and that is that guys are way more open regarding you know regarding women. There's way more variety when it comes to like preferences in women. Like guys really like the whole. It depends depending on the guy. It really like there's a whole like A to Z category. All these like porn. Look at go to any porn site and look at all the categories, and it's all like that's all targeted towards men. That's not targeted towards women. Um, all these fetishes, but when it comes to the desirable man for women, it's way less. I mean, women do obviously have preferences. Like they do, some women like men with beards, some like more clean shaven, but ultimately they don't know women like fat men. It's not a thing. There's no body positivity for fat men. It's not a thing. It's not attractive. Like every woman wants like a man that's like has like you know is like at least not fat. But some men are just like you know who knows what happened, but they have like very perverted fetishes where they actually like fat women. Um it just doesn't exist like regarding men. Um Women all want either at least to have like muscles somewhat. um they're not going to be attracted to like a beta, like a little skinny. Like women aren't attracted to that. I mean, even in Japan, I mean, it's a bit weird in Japan because like a lot of women do actually like you know I haven't even come to the conclusion as to why it is, but like it's almost like Japanese women prefer like almost like girlier men. It's weird, but I've come to the conclusion I think a lot of that may be like transactional. I don't know. Um, it's a weird. Japan is an anomaly. It's a country of like contradictions, really. But it's I need to think about it a lot more. Um, but a lot of the there's a thing in Japan where it's like they're called host bars, and like obviously the ones that men go to meet women are much more popular, but they also have bars that where men work there to entertain women, and women go there and pay to talk to men, and all the men that work there are very very girly, like very feminine, almost they almost look like transsexuals. It's very bizarre. um and who knows why that is, but you know Japan is kind of an anomaly, I would say. Um, anyway, it says the guy broke down in tears with me on at least two occasions. He just couldn't understand why what was supposed to work, open communication, rational discourse, and honest negotiation, wasn't getting her to come around to having sex with him. It was then I thought, you cannot negotiate genuine desire. Big facts. Um, it's like it's like whenever if you ever you get a number or whatever, or you make an approach and you just understand that like you just get you can read the body language. You understand that she has like zero interest in you. I've come to understand that very very well over because I've done so many approaches. So I understand. um I can read a woman's body language like very well, like almost instantly, whether she's going to be into me or not. And whenever they're into me, it's like I understand like almost immediately, and I pursue the interaction. Other times it's just it's so cold. There's no spark. Like I can't see anything in their eyes, and it's 9 out of 10 times when I notice that it's like dead in the water, and I know that. And there is a rare occasion where initially they look like they don't have any kind of spark in their eyes, but you can warm them up. But to be quite honest, like to be very honest, like usually when you make an approach, it's usually like I understand immediately, like within the first few seconds, the first like I understand whether this is going to go somewhere or not. um Yeah, so either a woman wants to fuck you or she doesn't. There are definitely ways to prompt that genuine desire, most of which are behavioral and conditional. But as has been stated many times in the sphere, attraction is not a choice. The key word there is choice. Few men would choose to be attracted by an obese woman, and in many ways, this choice dynamic is why women promoting the body acceptance narrative have a tough time of it. For all of the nonsense about beauty being a social construct, arousal for men is very much rooted in evolved biology. Men can't choose to get an erection for a woman they're simply not aroused by. That's it, and it's the same. It's the same for women regarding men. I mean, at the end, women do have like sexual preferences, desires. Um, when it comes to validational, they're gonna go for the Chad. Like, I mean, if a Chad and a dweeb walk up to a hot girl, 10 out of 10 times the girl is gonna go for the Chad. Like, it's just the way it is. It doesn't matter how she doesn't care how nice the guy is. She doesn't care if he's like she, you know what I mean. The guy could be like a terrible person. He could treat her like absolute shit. But when it comes to the act of banging alone, she's going to choose the Chad. You know, um, it's just just the way we've evolved. Um, the same holds true for women, but the conditions are different. Women can and do have sex for reasons other than genuine desire. Negotiated desire really isn't desire at all, but women have readily used sexual access to achieve those perceived outcomes I mentioned above here. Negotiated desire only ever leads to obligated compliance. A talented hooker or stripper may be very convincing in her act that she's really into having sex with a man, but the negotiation that takes place before the act can never make a woman want to have sex with her client. Attraction is not a choice, but really, arousal is not a choice either. Yes, so it's just arousal is not a choice. I mean, that's why when apparently apparently when women get let's say you know assaulted, it's like in a sexual way. Sometimes they can have like an orgasm, but it's not really even a choice. It's just that it's like you can't really choose. You can't really. It just happens. I mean, then the other darker subject is that a lot of women actually fantasize about it, um, which is very very strange. I wonder. It's like I guess I really don't understand it myself, but because obviously I'm not a woman, but who knows? Maybe things were just much more violent back in the day when we were hunter gatherers, when society was just much more violent. Um, who knows? Hormonal. I am presently about halfway through my read of Dr. Marty Hazelton's new book, Hormonal. I was really anticipating this book's release, and I had intended to do my first ever book review of it here. But as I reach through, I've decided not to. I still highly recommend it. As you might guess, it's chock full of stats and research confirmation of so much of what I write here that I want to put it at the top of the required Rational Made reading list. I've been referencing Dr. Hazelton's and her colleagues' work since I began this blog, but the delivery of the information was disappointing and, in a lot of instances, very immature and sophomoric. It was written almost as an apology maybe to feminists for having to kill a lot of sacred feminist social convention cows. I feel as if she's writing down to the women who she'll inevitably market this book to. But if you can get past her constant attempts to legitimize her feminist credentials, the information is absolute gold. That kind of went off topic there, but yeah. Let me see. Okay, so let me see. One aspect of female sexual dynamics that Hazelton and her team detail quite a bit is the idea of an estrous state in human females. I'm not sure how well appreciated this research is in the manosphere, which is one reason I've included it in positive masculinity. But this concept is really integral to how we define hypergamy. As most of my readers know, hypergamy, women's dualistic sexual strategy, and really life strategy is much more than a tendency of women to marry up. In hormonal, the ideas of alpha fucks and beta bucks really solidify with the research. Yes, so we've all heard of the idea of alpha bucks and alpha fucks and beta bucks. I mean, it's why I think girls will go out on dates with guys that they know that um they've almost already decided that they're not going to have sex with, but they see that he might have money, or that she'll get a free meal or something out of it. And if she sees that the guy has a lot of money, or that she thinks that she can benefit from it somehow, um, she might actually go ahead and have some transactional sex. Um, that happens all the time. Like, women have transactional sex all the time. Um, but there's a big difference. There's a big difference between transactional and validational sex. Like, in validational sex, like, pretty much nothing's going to be off the cards. Like, everything's going to flow very naturally. It's going to be very animalistic. It's going to be very passionate. There's going to be a lot of enthusiasm. Um, there's going to be, but in the transactional sex, it's going to be like, oh, I don't do that, or I don't like that, or oh, like, it's just going to be, just not going to be as, it's just going to be completely different. Um, it's just going off. Um, yes, so. However, as useful as it is as a catchy euphemism, alpha fucks and beta bucks could better be described as alpha seed and beta need. In a woman's peak ovulatory phase of her menstrual cycle, she enters an estrous state and becomes subject to behaviors that can only be defined as a pretext of seeking alpha seed. In other words, nature and hypergamy are very practical in maximizing the chances that the woman may get pregnant with the best available genetic specimen. Granted, the true outcome of all of that is subject to environment and a woman's personal conditions, but the practicality of it remains the same, as it has for over 100,000 years. It's also important to keep in mind that a woman's behaviors, strategies, rationales, and her own interpretation of all of them in those various times and conditions are also a part of the overall latent purpose of a woman consolidating on the best alpha seed and beta to supply her needs. Um, yeah. So while women are subject to an estrous state, they still require the second half of hypergamy, the beta need for security, provisioning, protection, comfort, and at least the sharing of parental investment responsibilities for any offspring. Estrus in women is concealed, meaning it is, or used to be, nearly but not totally undetectable in women. There are, in fact, various ways men evolve to intuitively determine whether a woman is in an estrous state of fertility. Most of these today are socially shamed in men so as to further confuse them and advantage women. But that's a topic for another essay. Concealed estrus aids women in optimizing both alpha seed and beta need, and it's likely that much of what accounts for women's sexual strategy is the result of this concealment. Um, yeah, I mean, when women are ovulating, or basically the human version of being in heat, they'll tend to uh, dress a lot sexier, you know. Um, I remember one time I was in the I was just in a supermarket, and I noticed this super hottie. I mean, she was probably in her mid 30s, but like honestly, like this is she was dressed like a 21-year-old would go out to a nightclub, like really like way too sexy to be in a like it was in the afternoon too. Um it was like 3 p.m. um and she was wearing this tiny little mini skirt and like high heels and I just said to myself, I am definitely going to approach this chick. I have to. So she was just at the counter. She was ready to pay. And I was at the same time. That's when I saw her. And I paid first and I just waited outside because she was obviously going to be coming out. And I just cold approached her and said, "Hey, what's up? Do you speak English?" And she did actually. She spoke perfect English. Anyway, long story short, it turns out she was married and had kids, and she was in her mid 30s. But dude, I mean, I went ahead and got her number anyway. But it was clear, like from the very moment I approached her, I knew, like, is what I was saying earlier. When you make an approach, you can tell there's like a sparkle, there's something, and she was clearly ovulating or something going on, because going to a supermarket dressed like that, like she's just, even if she did it subconsciously, like she probably wasn't thinking, I don't think she was expecting to get cold approached, like, but it was probably in her fantasy, like, that it would happen, even subconsciously. But like I said, she was dressed like a 21-year-old would go out to a nightclub. Like, it was really sexy. But and it was just too much, so I just had to approach. It was just too ridiculous. So I just got her number and started texting her, and it was just very obvious. Right? But she came, it was like directly to my house, like the next week or something, like directly. Like, there was no date, there was no like tea or coffee or drinks or dinner. It was like, yeah, come over. It was just like she came over, and it was a good time. But yeah, yeah. So now a lot has been written by myself and others about the impact of meeting a woman's beta need aspect of hypergamy being served by the state, and/or direct or indirect transfers of resources from men to women. Most of my readers are well aware of how this side of hypergamy has been progressively accommodated for over the past 50 years. In spite of this, it's important to remember that this accommodation of provisioning needs doesn't eliminate the deeper needs that this side of hypergamy engenders in women. It may be true that women have never been better provided for in history as far as money and opportunities go, but women still look for emotional security, protection, dominance, and comfort in men as part of their innate mental firmware. Yeah, that's why we see women when they hit the wall, and their party years are over, and they're like, they'll reluctantly settle for the beta guy who they would never have touched with a barge pole when they were 21 years old. They would never have done that. It's just that they'll reluctantly kind of settle for the beta guy because he's willing to provide. He's willing to, he'll provide. He'll let her stay at home while he works or whatever. He'll pop out. She'll have a few babies with him, one or two. But even in Western society, that's women. They're doing that even less and less, even nowadays, because they're so entitled. Their egos have been so inflated by that they're not even willing to settle for the beta guys, because they think that they're entitled to the chads. Like, these fours and fives are literally thinking that they deserve tens. It's not. You can see that on Fresh and Fit podcast. It's that's one of the best things I like about that podcast is that you actually see it. Like you see these deluded women, like absolute delusion, thinking that you know that they deserve guys that are tens and top tier guys basically. Um, I'm not gonna lie, there has been some hot chicks on the podcast, but a few like there's been plenty that are not like are not. And they it's so hilarious when they comes around to when they rate themselves, and it's insane. Like they thinking they're nines and tens. It's wild. Um, let me see. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. Um, as a result of hypergamy and this concealed estrous state, women have been put into a condition of evaluating sex in different aspects today. So, validational sex. When women look for that alpha seed in their peak ovulatory proliferative phase, the sex they seek is a desired sex with a man who meets evolutionary criteria. He's the hot guy or the man who leaves a woman with a perception of danger or excitement. A lot of men who don't meet this criteria have a tendency to over-exaggerate this type of a man as the alpha chad that makes a ridiculous parody of him as an ego projection mechanism for themselves. Let me state for the record here that every aspect and adjective that this type of guy embodies is mitigated by conditions and contexts. It is just as likely that this conventionally masculine dominant guy is only so according to his most immediate social situation. So spare me the Chad Thundercock anxieties. The sex that women give in enthusiastic consent for is validational for them. The easy assessment here is that women have a genuine desire to mate with conventionally masculine men who look and act the part. Yes, behavioral congruency is vital. If you follow the research, women consciously and unconsciously will actively put themselves into environments where the likelihood of their meeting a dominant masculine man who most closely matched that masculine ideal when they are in estrus. They openly and discreetly look for arousal cue from men who best embody that what can only be described as alpha seed. I actually have I actually think that women actually resent when men try to better themselves. When women find out that men are, there's no doubt about it that men are made and women just are. But if a woman actually finds out that you are kind of becoming better or trying to better yourself, they'll often resent that. Or if you meet a woman or say a girl that you grew up with and you were a bit of a dweeb back in the day and she kind of didn't look down upon you or didn't respect you back when you were in high school or whatever, and you meet her and you've become like a super chad, they'll almost kind of resent that. There'll be this kind of aggression or passive aggression where they think you shouldn't, like they'll resent the fact that you've bettered yourself, and that's when you know you're winning. That's when you know you've done a good job, because women can't do that. It's just like it's a harsh reality. They'll resent it. They'll often have a conflict in their heads because they, in one sense, they'll be attracted to you, but they'll also resent the fact that you've gotten so much better and they've gotten worse. That's why they'll often be. If you ever experienced that, they'll have this kind of. It's hard to describe, but I think you get the idea. It's that as women get older, they decrease in the sexual marketplace. Their value decreases, and it's undeniable. It's men often get, not in every instance, not whatsoever, but men have the potential to become much more attractive as they get older, before they peak out in their mid to late 30s. Women do not get more attractive as they get older. And that's not to say there can't be MILFs, there can't be hot women, but it's like they were a lot hotter when they were like 21, like a lot hotter. Like, and that's just it. I should also add that women in satisfying relationships, meaning LTRs, where a woman is still very hot for her husband, boyfriend, report an increase in sexual desire, uh, proceptivity for the guy during this phase. A lot of guys mistakenly think any woman will want to seek out extra pair mating, cheating opportunities when they're in estrus. This is only true if a woman isn't into her current man. Um, yeah, or if she's into her current man, I think even if she finds something better, or if she has an opportunity, I don't know. Um, she's not going to punch down. Basically, women aren't going to punch down. They're not going to cheat. Men will punch down. Like men will punch down. Men will cheat with women that aren't as hot as their girlfriends. I remember when back in my blue pill days, I had a really hot girlfriend, and I didn't cheat for the longest time, but I mean, I would, my eyes would wander. I mean, when with girls that weren't as hot. I mean, just because it's new, men are designed to spread the seed, and it's not necessarily we're not always looking for. Of course, we want the hottest girls, but I mean, we're just honestly, most guys are just dogs. I mean, we're just attracted to women, even women that are average, or So I don't want to get too lost in the descriptions here. Rather, I want to focus on the associative feelings women get in and after having sex with that alpha man during estrus. I would argue that alpha widows are made in the estrus phase. This is the sex women want to have and are enthusiastic in both the hunt and the act itself. This is largely, presumably, the sex that men have with their wives to be before they marry. It's this validational sex that the sex that women fantasize about, that men and women want to get back to once they are committed to each other monogamously, but now have a dead bedroom. This sex validates a woman's ego in that it proves to herself that a man of this SMV caliber would want to pin her to the bed and have marathon sex with her. Remember, the latent purpose of this sex on this side of hypergamy is to access the sperm from men with high reproductive value as defined by what our evolved nature predisposes women to be aroused by. Validational sex is sex by choice and genuine desire, and is satisfying on both a psychological level and an evolutionary level. I seriously believe that if you're a player, if you're a real player and you've been with a lot of women, and even if you haven't, I mean, if you're in a long-term relationship, there's only so long that spark is going to stay alive. Like, you're sure you're going to be able to have sex with them, but you're not going to have that burning desire after. For me, like, it may be just I've been with so many women that, like, usually from the first time I hook up with a girl, usually that sex is like unbelievable. But at least I do. I think so, and it usually goes down because I don't hold back. Like, I don't have any inhibitions. I don't hold back. I just go for it. And if you're in a relationship, I mean, it's like anything. It's like a drug. You just need more and more after a while. And if you've just done everything, it's just going to be, the arousal is just going to be weaker. So transactional sex. Let me get into that. One of the benefits of I might actually do transactional sex in the next episode. Let me just check the comments. Problematic says Myra's not messing around. Yeah, he's pretty based. I like how he kicks the girls off that are disrespectful. Definitely, those girls have never been checked before. C. Joel says, if I had to theorize, it could be if a woman found herself in that situation, it would be because stronger, more competent men had conquered their current spouses. So now are genetically superior men. Okay. El Tas says, behavior is very important. If you look masculine but you don't match up on the decision making and attitude front, they kind of despise you. Yeah, I think because they don't want to feel like they're being fooled or you know it's like what I was saying, how if women, you kind of see that you're not just naturally a Chad, like they kind of don't understand that men are made and we have to work to become better. They'll almost kind of resent you for trying to become better, because women know innately that there's honestly, like, I'm a solid believer that there's only so much women can do to make themselves higher, have a higher SMV. Some women really can't do that much. Just like what I was saying, like from their bone structure and like just their body, their shape, like you know uh Danny says, every time they're asked to rate themselves on Fresh and Fit, I am being generous. Usually I give them a fair rating. They're usually sixes and sevens. I would agree with that, but they all think they're tens. Absolute lunacy. Very much agree. I agree. There's been five, sixes, and sevens on that show. Maybe even a four or two, but I would say there's been a few hot ones. I mean, maybe eights but you know, uh, I mean, look, I'm in Japan, so maybe I'm biased, but just to you know, Joel says, that was a previous convo when you were bringing up girls turned on by grape. Indeed. Joel says, and yeah, women despise men improving because they take it as you doing an end run around hypergamy. That's what I'm trying to say. Basically, they say you're trying to like cheat hypergamy. They don't like it. They don't like it. I've noticed that. Even yeah. They know that you're trying to. They see it as you trying to cheat hypergamy. I had some salty girls even comment on my on my Insta stories when I posted doing exercise, and some girl was like, I think she said like, you're trying very hard or something. I was like, yeah, bitch, I'm trying hard. What the fuck do you think I'm doing? I'm not gonna just sit in my ass. But no, it's just that kind of saltiness that they have about it, because they know they like men aren't really attracted to muscly women. I personally, I'm just attracted to women that do yoga. I don't like muscly. Some guys are into muscly girls that like are in the gym, like really really tight toned bodies to a degree. But once it gets to like where they're like starting to pop, like if there's any kind of muscle, it's like not like, I'm not into that. Like, I'm almost suspicious guys are into that. I remember one guy. A friend of mine told me he was in a guy back in college. Like we were chilling, and we're just, as guys do in college, we were talking about what type of butts we like, what type of booties we like. And I was like, I like a juicy booty, and he was like, I like a toned ass. And I was like, what do you mean you like a toned ass? And he pulled up, like I said, show me an example. And he pulled up like these body, almost like bodybuilder chicks. Do you ever see those like those best bodies, like best body competition for men where they're all like really muscly, like Arnold Schwarzenegger type shit? But they have those for women too. Like, and he literally pulled up one of those, and I was like, god damn, like, dude, like, we're living in a free society. I mean, if you find these women, like, if you think you can come out of the closet and just say that you're gay if you're into women like that. But yeah, it's just, for me, everyone has their own preferences. We live in a free society. It's all good. But yeah, I'm not a fan of women that work out really hard. It's like, soft exercise. Keep the femininity. That's what I'm into. Like, I think yoga is the perfect thing. Yoga and a good diet should be enough for a hot woman. Like yoga and good diet, and maybe a bit of running. But yeah, let me share today's hot Japanese chick. Hot Japanese chick. Her name is Fumika. Fumika. This is pure femininity. This chick is definitely not lifting weights in the gym. And if she did, she would damage her femininity. She would damage her body. But yeah. You know what I mean? Nice shape. Let me rate this chick in Japan, in Japan. Who knows? I mean, there's so many women that are like this. It's like she's not like super exceptional. But yeah, it's if you like legs, Japan is a good place to be. Flexibility, very attractive in women. If a woman is flexible, yeah, so that's it. I don't know. She's definitely not lifting weights. That's for sure. That's why, men, the more weights they lift, the more attractive they're going to become. That's why women resent it. So they don't like it. If they see a guy becoming, they just want to see a guy. They just want to see a guy that's a super Chad, and they don't want to see the process. So that reminds them that I think, well, first of all, they realize that you're trying to cheat hypergamy, and then they realize that they can't really do it themselves, because that men and women are attracted to different things. Good times in Japan, indeed. But yeah, guys. And if you're in here, smash the like button. Smash that button down. Helps me out. Check out the links in the description. I'm gonna do the transactional part on Monday. I didn't realize it's pretty long. I'll go into the transactional sex on Monday. But yeah, guys, smash the like button. I'll be back on Monday. Have a good weekend. Let me just see. Danny says, only fit and healthy is sexy. Buff broads are not hot. Very much agree. They're half guys. They're so muscular. No thanks. No thanks. I'm not into it. I agree. We're on the same page, man. We're definitely on the same page. See, Joel says, I agree. I don't want to see definition on my girls. Definitely not. And what's it with guys? Like some girls, like it's so funny when girls say they want to have six packs. It's like, literally, if you have a six pack, I'm not gonna be into you. I'm not even gonna bang a girl with a six pack. Seriously, I'm not. Like, I mean, if you're into girls with six packs, that's just, honestly, it's just a masculine trait. It's a masculine thing, to have a six pack, to be defined. Like, if you get into that level, you're gonna start seeing veins popping and stuff. Not good. Noy Worth says, awesome, Mac. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend too, guys. So yeah, I'll catch you guys on Monday. Peace out. Bye bye.